1 crore 38 lakh is the amount that Mukesh Ambani will earn by the time you end up watching this video. So what does he do with this immense wealth beside having the most luxurious home in the world? With a personal wealth of $111 billion, includes him in the Forbes top 10 richest billionaires list. Well, he controls the fate of 1.4 billion people of India. Is it even possible for a mere businessman? It is, because he is not just a mere businessman. Cause his company Reliance accounts for 8.9% of total India's GDP, which is around $1.7 trillion. Imagine your daily routine. The data powering your smartphone from Jio, the fuel propelling your vehicle from the Jio petrol pump, the groceries arriving at your doorstep through JioMart, all carry the indelible mark of Ambani's influence. And it is not just about the products or service that we use, it is about the unseen thread that ties us to the Grand Reliance web. From the instant we engage through Jio network, whether through a Jio SIM or by surfing with Jio's internet connection, we willingly grant Reliance access to our personal world. Or even catch up the latest news through the News 18 network owned by Reliance. It gives them the power to shape our opinion through news media also. And even in the entertainment sector, by producing big budget Bollywood movies featuring some of the most popular faces of the country, the Ambani's imprint is everywhere. Unseen, yet profoundly impactful. Not just as a business magnates, but as architects of our everyday financial experience, silently shaping the choice of millions across the nation. But with great power comes great responsibility. Has he always used his influence for the greater good? Or has there been a darker side of his success too? But the fact that he has had a major impact on India's economy and technological landscape is undeniable. However, his business strategies and leadership approach remain controversial in some circles. In this video, we will aim to objectively evaluate Ambani's key business strategies and their outcomes. Let's uncover the truth behind the man, the myth, and the billions. But before moving to the exploration, let me ask you for one favor. If you press the subscribe button and gives it a thumbs up, YouTube will send this video to more and more people who might not be aware about these important facts. So it is up to you. It takes 2 seconds for you. I will consider this as my reward from your side. Chapter 1. Customer-centric approach has been instrumental in building customer loyalty and retention. For instance, Jio's affordable data plans and free voice call disrupted the Indian telecom market, making it accessible to millions of people who previously could not afford it. He did not ignore the traditional kirana stores also, but embraced them. JioMart partners with them, helping them to compete with big online giants. This omni-channel strategy blankets the market, leaving little room for rivals. But these all are not as simple as it looks. There is a deep, dark strategy behind this enormous success. And that is the allure of free crap. Chapter 2. Mr. Ambani understands the Indian consumers better than anybody, even better than the consumer themselves. Sounds funny, right? Consumers are always very prone to discounts. In India, it is even worse. If the product is available at a discounted price, people will buy it even if they don't need it. And Ambani took advantage of these insights to enter in the telecom space and launched Jio. This time they made it completely free, and that too for next 6 months. Can you imagine? No recharge, unlimited calling, high-speed network without spending a single penny for it. Even I could not. But it did happen. And finally, that 6-month offer span got extended to 18 months of free data and calling, which was more than enough to disrupt Indian telecom industry. Yes, it was all planned. This leads to our next point and the most dark reality of Ambani's empire. Chapter 3. Whether people like it or not, he works in the principle disrupt and dominate. Now, Mr. Mukesh Ambani has become the disruption king and repeated the same thing with various sectors such as the Reliance Retail and JioMart disrupted the retail sector of India. Jio Cinema has become the headache for big OTT platforms like Netflix and Hotstar, using the same strategy this time to free. If you are smart enough, you know nothing is free. At first, they make you addicted to their product or service. And once you are completely addicted to it, now you are trapped. And the real game starts then. There are no competitors left in the market who could survive such a long span of loss over a year. Once the monopoly is created in the market, then who can stop them from doing what it wants? They can charge you whatever they want, and you are left with no other alternatives but to accept their service. Chapter 4. The rise that is in front of you would have never been possible if it had not acquired the other small competitors and killed the competition in the market. Acquisition fill holes in Ambani's empire. Need a strong online presence? Boom, he buys Netmeds and Snapdeal. Want to tap into the healthcare industry? Fortis Healthcare becomes his ticket. The acquisition of Aircel and its subsidiaries in 2007 further boosted Jio's subscriber base and spectrum holdings. But acquisition is like a double-edged sword. Integration can be tricky. and overpaying can hurt the finance. But for Ambani's empire, the reward has often outweighed the risk, making him the undisputed acquisition king of India. And this leads to our next point, which is also the most controversial one. Chapter 5. Whether it is normal people, bureaucrats, or the politicians, his relationships paid off early and often. There is no doubt that political connections can open doors to government contracts and lucrative infrastructure projects. It was in 1971, Reliance, then led by Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, wanted to move forward and make its own polyester fiber, which was not permitted by the Indian state at that time. But Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani had the benefit of Indira Gandhi back in power. Another example is Modi government, which made it very difficult for BSNL to obtain license to upgrade to 4G. It seemed that the denial was because they use Chinese components, but many believes it is a bid simply to help Jio expand its branches at the expense of BSNL. Well, I think the easier answer to this is Reliance simply knows how to work with system, and this is an attribute to the Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani. Critics argue that Ambani's proximity to power gives him an unfair advantage over competitors. No doubt it is true that close ties can help navigate the complex web of Indian bureaucracy, politically speeding up approvals and permits. But some fear that close ties between business and politics undermine democratic principles and checks and balances. Chapter 6. By the time others find out about his plan, he is done with the work, without giving a slight clue about it. Now let's dig deep into this and talk about the most fascinating acquisition in the history of Reliance Industries ever. It was in 2010. Mukesh Ambani himself believed that data is the new oil, and we all know what role oil has played in Reliance's success. In 2010, Indian government began auctioning of 3G and broadband wireless access. Most bidders focused on 3G, while a little known company called Infotel Broadband owned the 4G licenses in all 22 regions of India. After the winners were announced, Reliance jumped into the story finally and bought 95% shares of Infotel for $640 million. It was such a smart move that Ambani used Infotel to keep his deep pockets hidden from other bidders, so that no one could find out what his master plan was with Jio, then Infotel, till the very ending. Reliance launched Jio not just as a telecom provider but as a disruptor. By acquiring spectrum, infrastructure, and even content providers like Savan, Jio shattered the market, offering dirt cheap data and voice calls, forcing competitors to scramble. The rest is history. Chapter 7. Forget one size fits all. Ambani's campaigns are tailor-made for diverse Indian regions, such as from Bengali ads featuring Durga Puja to Rajasthani jingles echoing folk tunes. He resonates with local culture. Remember the heartwarming ad featuring a father narrating his daughter's dreams, powered by Jio's affordable internet? Or the tear-jerking campaign about a soldier using Jio to connect with his family. Reliance advertisements are not just ads selling products, they go beyond selling, tapping into universal emotions and building a deeper connection with audience, which makes Reliance feel like a familiar neighbor, not a distant conglomerate. He also knows how to make the perfect use of emotional aspect. And here comes into play the Bollywood brilliance and cricket craze. Indians worship their film star. So who better to endorse Jio than Shah Rukh Khan, Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika Padukone? These A-listers add glamour and trust to the brand, making Jio aspirational and relatable. And in the another hand, cricket is like a religion in India. Ambani knows it very well. Sponsoring the Indian Premier League and acquiring broadcast rights to major tournaments like IPL and broadcasting it absolutely free lets him tap into the national fever, further cementing its image in every middle class to affluent class living room. Now comes to the most riskiest option. Chapter 8. Leveraging debt as a weapon is surely not everyone's cup of tea. Where Mukesh Ambani's relationship with debt is complicated. Some call it reckless, others a strategic masterstroke. Imagine a juggling act, but instead of balls, it is billions of rupees. That is what Ambani's debt game looks like. Reliance Industries, the crown jewel of his empire, carries a hefty debt load, currently hovering around $80 billion load. But with great power also comes great risk. Because making business by taking money from others and still not going into loss and getting bankrupt like others is crazy. It works like this. But here is the twist. Ambani embraced it as a tool for aggressive expansion instead of treating it as a liability. The strategic borrowing does fuel aggressive expansion, while his massive cash flow ensures timely repayments. It is a high risk, high reward dance. So far he is waltzing pretty well, taking advantages of dollars to pay debt in Indian rupees and outperform it. So, is Ambani's debt dance a reckless gamble or a calculated masterpiece? In the conclusion, we can only say that the jury is still out. Mukesh Ambani's relationship with politicians is a multifaceted issue. While the benefits are undeniable, concerns about transparency and democratic implications still remains. Ultimately, it is up to the public to decide whether this dance between business and politics serves the greater good or not. But is this influence inherently negative? Some see it as a sign of progress, a homegrown titan driving India's economic engine, while others worry about the concentration of power in one single family. The truth is complex and multifaced. If you liked this video, make sure you check out this video on how Ratan Tata is building India the next superpower of the world. And here you can check about Sundar Pichai's mindset. You will like it. Thanks for watching.